Okay children, so in this segment of the video, we are going to study in detail about the cell membrane. As we discussed in the last video, that cell membrane is the outermost covering of an animal cell and the second covering in the plant cell. Why? Because first covering is our cell wall. Now, what are the basic characteristics of a cell membrane and what exactly is cell membrane in terms of structure? So here I have drawn the structure of a cell membrane. Now this structure was given by Singer and Nicholson in the year 1972. It is known as fluid mosaic model. Now let us understand more about this model. What they say is that the cell membrane is made up of proteins and lipids. And how exactly are these arranged? Now here if you see in the diagram, these two layers, these two are the layers of lipids. So this is called a bilayer, a lipid bilayer. It is called a here lipid completely signifies that the cell membrane is made up of lipid, and when I use bilayer I essentially mean that there are two layers of lipid here. Then we see that there are these big and small patches in the middle. Now these big and small patches are called protein patches. Not protein patches exactly, but these are proteins. Now when a protein patch is coming in the middle of the bilayer, it will be known as an intrinsic protein, and if it's coming on the outer side, it will be known as the extrinsic protein. So this is the basic structure of a cell membrane. There are going to be two layers of lipid arranged, that is going to be called as a bilipid layer, and then there are in the middle protein patches. If in the middle, they will be called as intrinsic proteins, and if at the end, it will be called as an extrinsic protein. Proceeding further, why do we need a cell membrane and what exactly is the function that the cell membrane does for us? The very first is, it is protecting the contents of the cell and enclosing the cytoplasm. Now what exactly is cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is the liquid which is present, jelly-like substance which is present inside the cell. And there are a lot of very critical amenities present inside the cell which needs proper amount of protection. Now that protection is given by the cell membrane. So it is giving protection to the cell. Also it is acting like a substance which is enclosing the matter of the cell within it. Next. Second, it is the living part of the cell and it is dynamic. What do I mean when I say it is dynamic? When I say that it is dynamic, I essentially mean that it is flexible in nature. So if in case a lot of water comes in, it will flex itself. And if in case a lot of water is lost, it will flaccidate itself. So that is what the cell membrane does. As per the requirement, it can change its shape. So it is living and dynamic. It is living and dynamic. Third, it is semi-permeable. Now this is a very important feature of a cell membrane. When I say that it is permeable, I mean that it will essentially allow the intake and outtake of certain substances. But when I am saying that it is semi-permeable, it is going to be selective in allowing those substances. Things that are good for the cell will be allowed in and things that are not good for the cell will not be allowed in. Though this does not work 100% all the time, which is why we get sick all the time, but its major job is to prevent harmful substances from coming inside by being impermeable to it and allow the waste material to go outside and good things to come inside by being permeable to it. So when I am saying that a cell membrane is a semi-permeable, I essentially mean that it will only allow the passage of certain things inside and not everything. Proceeding further, what else does a cell membrane do? Now again, let us note this point that cell membrane is made up of proteins and lipids. depending upon which solution you put the cell into, the cell either shrinks or it swells up. It all depends upon how the cell membrane is permeable to the particular substance. For example, if I put a if I put a cell into a solution which is extremely salty, the water will be moving from inside of the cell to outside of the cell. And if I put the cell into a solution which is extremely pure and no amount of salt is present in there, the water intake will be done by the cell. So such permeability differences and how actually a cell membrane or a cell reacts to when you put it into a certain solution, that is what we are going to cover in the next lecture.